Hey, and welcome to this new making of. So, as you know, we always do a making of with our songs. We're a band that produces music and write music themselves and record it themselves. We do this throughout the internet, so people are sitting at home, writing, creating stuff, sending each other stuff, and I finally put everything together into this Logic project. And yeah, what we always do is when we release a single, we do a little making of. So we go throughout the audio project, I try to highlight some interesting stuff, and now we're going to do it with our new single Black Lotus, which is the title track of our debut album that we released today. So the Black Lotus is written mainly by Fabio. He wrote the chord structure and the melodies a bit. I took that draft that he made and added a lot of stuff. And I think the main thing with this song is, so we are also trying to go to participate in the contest at San Marino, Dreaming San Marino, which is the national song contest for San Marino. The winner of that goes to Eurovision. And so the thing is, we had a feeling like this track would be really good suited for that. But the way it was written, the track was like 4:20 or something. And Eurovision tracks need to be under 3 minutes, so a max of 3 minutes, so 2 minutes 95. So the most time spent in this track, I think, and working on it and mixing and stuff is bringing it back to just those 3 minutes, which made a lot of decisions and stuff. I think the end result is amazing. I kind of like that it's on the shorter side. It's just a really easy to listen, just short. So let's just dive into it. Let's go over it, and I'll highlight all the cool stuff. So let's just play. We'll play the intro, then we'll stop a bit and we'll talk about it. So a really short intro. There is a lot of going on. It's a little. So at the start we have this little riser, which is the melody in there too, and then it just hits with this like 8 bars of like full sound. So I think the main thing in this song, the main FX, which isn't actually an FX, it's just the synths. They create a whole bunch of top layer reverb and it fills the song up a lot. So if you just listen to the synths, it's the main melody, the main hook going throughout the whole song. And as you can hear, there's like a lot of reverb and delay and stuff on there to fill it up. I think that's kind of cool. Then of course it's doubled with the violins, so the synth and the violins together. And the violins really give the focus on the melody, right? And then what else is in there? Yeah, there's of course guitar, drums, bass. I think the one of the cool things here is there is a little like guitar solo thing. There's just a top melody. I think it's this track. No, that's not. So it's probably the one on top. Let's see. So it's just a top melody. So if you listen to all the guitars together, and we'll take the drum and bass, but you will hear like the little top guitar. which is cool. There's also, of course, the full guitars there, and there's like this little octave guitar in there too. So yeah, let's move on to the next part, which is the first. So let me fold this down, and we'll go to the first, which is like a full electronic style first. So let's listen to it.
We've seen the evolution of human nature. We've seen it turn into a shadow. This flower's like a black lotus, stainless is dirt. We've seen it, stainless is dirt. Selfish, we've seen it, but we can't help it. It's a beauty.
So my computer had a little bit of a glitch there. Did you hear it? Like it was playing the first vocals twice, which is weird. And now I have a little bit of... Oh, okay. It's fine. When you're dealing with such a live audio project and all the tracks are just like unfrozen and open, your computer does some weird stuff. I think that everyone does production knows this. But yeah, let's focus into the first. So the first part is, so you still hear like those synthesize, right? The melodies. I think they're also now done here on a tuned percussion instrument. So that's the same melody as start, but now it's like octave and low. We're adding a heavy bass to that. So just an 808. And later the 808 gets doubled with some more layers, making it a little bit more raw. I think, and the funny thing is with this track, so normally I'm a huge FX guy. I make like all these FX layers in the tracks and stuff. And this one didn't really have that. If I'm looking at these FX, yeah, there is stuff, but it's all just like reverse crashes, snare bombs, some, let's see, I think these are like the most effects we have. I think these are some breaths. So let's listen to it. Yeah, so these are just some breaths. And I think that's the most FX this song has. And these breaths just add a layer of, well, I think, yeah, you know, like a little bit of creepiness, spookiness around the whole verse. It's like a heavy subject that Fabio's singing about human nature and how we, well, I interpreted like how we should... we're screwing up things, right? And we should change it, but we don't, and that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit, yeah, the drama there and those breaths help. So yeah, if you listen to it in context, you hear the...
We've seen the evolution of human nature. We've seen...
Yeah, so in the back you had a little whoop. It just adds a little bit, you know. It's just so minor and you almost don't hear it, but it's there, right? It's helping. On the FX, the vocals itself have a lot of FX. So if you just solo a little bit of vocals, you will hear it. It's like...
We've seen the evolution of human nature.
Again, emphasizing the spookiness, the creepiness with that octave below, a little bit distortion, a little bit mangled vocals. So, yeah, it gives the whole vibe. Then the second part of the verse is where the drums kick in too. And there is where the extra bass kicks in. So if we take the synths and just the drums, we have to take all these drums, of course. Yeah, you can hear like... So there's a lot in there. Okay, there was a little bit of noise in the track, but yeah. So it now has like way more bass and this slow beat going in, which is kind of cool. So the next section, let's listen to the next section, which is the bridge.
It's a
So the bridge was actually, it's a pretty long bridge, right? It's like 8 bars for a build up for a bridge, which is, I think, pretty long. So I worked really hard on trying to make it interesting. Not only, of course, Fabio is doing a great job with making it interesting with the vocals and really going high in the vocals and stuff, which is really cool. But I also, you know, the drums, for example, are just like. So yeah, I could take like the floor tom, the snare, and the hi-hat and just the whole time. But I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting than that. So what I did was, if we look just at the drums, you can hear the drums also has a bit of a build-up. So it starts with, so here's just effect on there a lot. So it's, the highs are gone, it's just low and affected. And here the full highs come back. So it's the same thing, but the full. And here we start adding the snare and going harder, harder, harder. So it's just like a build-up. But yeah, so you could have chosen like this part where the full high comes in. You could have done that the whole part, but just making it effect and making it more in the back I liked. The bass isn't doing anything crazy, it's just hitting 2 notes. But the guitar is doing something I think fun here. It's, so if we just listen to the guitar and the bass together, it's like an Architects type riff, right? The fast, you know, like the Doomsday riff, kind of inspired. That you hear a lot in modern metalcore, but here it just fitted really well and I like doing it, so. So yeah, I like doing that with the build-up. I know that in the demo that Fabio wrote, the guitar was just doing the same chords as the bass, but I think this made it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more modern metal. So let's go to the next part. So after the bridge, we have a little like sub bass going down, and then we go into the full chorus. So let's listen to the chorus. So that's the chorus. So first of all, let's just solo out the vocals. Fabio is doing like a almost whole choir by himself, which is amazing, which you can hear like in the solo.
Lost around my pain, we are the new sun. We'll watch this world burn. We'll watch it all. Lost around my pain.
So yeah, that's amazing. Again, like I think I say this like every time I'm making a making of, but working with such good musicians together like Fabio is just a treat. You know, when he sends you like, oh, I recorded a chorus, and you open it and you're like, what the fuck? You hear this whole choir and it just sounds amazing. It makes my life, first of all, really easy. It's just, okay, put it in and it's amazing. And secondly, it's just such a privilege to work together with those type of people that can do that with their voice. It's amazing. So yeah, so we have that going on. Then of course we have the synths, we have some snare bumps and arena cheers going on. The breaths are in the chorus as well, as I can see. And we have this whole orchestra layer. So the orchestra, the first half of the chorus, the orchestra is adding a new melody that we didn't heard before, which is like do-do-do-dun, do-do-do-dun. And then in the second half of the chorus, the orchestra goes in back again with the synth melody that we heard at the start. So if we just solo this out a bit so we can hear the full orchestra. So yeah, so this is a new melody, the and then the long strings that you hear are just the chords of the whole chorus and stuff. So to amp up the guitar, and then yeah, in the second part here we add the full. We add the whole thing. So I kind of like this. I had a version where that synth melody is just the whole thing there, but it's a little bit too much. So I was working on this, and I thought what I really like about this is the counter melody. So there's something that's done a lot in classical music when you're talking about orchestras and programming orchestras, and I've now been programming orchestras for years and years and years, and so I wanted to do something that's really inspired by classical music, where you take like, okay, this section of the strings plays just the full chords, this section does a counter melody, this section does the main melody, and then try to make it all work together. I think we did pretty okay on trying to make everything work together. So the last thing I want to highlight on the chorus, which I really like, it's in the guitar. So when this second part of the chorus happens, where the brass also kicks in and that main melody is in there, the guitars also go louder. So we add an extra layer of heavy distortion guitars on there, and they start off with this palm mute, which I really like. So let me play the guitars. Let's just play guitars, bass, and yeah, and drums together to hear it. So here it is. Here it comes. And the drums emphasize of course, the palm mute. It goes, which I really like, because it's actually the part where the nice full orchestra comes in, but the guitars go harder too. So if you listen to that in total. So yeah, it just makes the second part of the chorus extremely big. So let's listen to after the chorus. So the chorus, it ends, by the way, with the guitars stopping, and only we hear the strings go on, and we hear so the strings go on and the vocals go on. And that brings us to the next section, which is like the breakdown. So let's listen to the breakdown. So yeah, that's a pretty heavy breakdown, written by signle. It's a breakdown that I wanted to do on purpose. Like this, I think this is one of our most hard breakdowns that we ever did. I think, yeah, we do have like a very heavy breakdown in Outsiders, where it's like double drop B and heavy screams. This is more like modern metal breakdown with weird guitar shifting and stuff. So yeah, I really needed seats on that, and he delivered really well. And I think like, because the idea of this track is also to participate in the San Marino thing, right? We wanted to do a little bit of shock value, like, oh my god, this sounds so heavy. While we didn't choose to scream on it, so it's still it's heavy, but it could be heavier. But I think this is a nice balance. So yeah, taking a look at the guitars, it's a lot of going on. So we can solo the guitars a little bit with the bass and the drums. It's so that's super cool, I think. All those glitch. So, Sietse brought his whammy pedal, which really helped here, and we did this in the afternoon together at my place, and I think it's exactly what we needed. So then we get into a second verse. So let's take a listen to that.
Emotions, no kind of emotion, just humans being human. What's your contribution? We can't fight this feeling, we can't fight this feeling. Just humans being human, we can stop this feeling. A proud of all emotions, no kind of emotion, just humans being human. What's your contribution? We can't fight this feeling, we can't fight this feeling. Just humans being human, we can stop this feeling.
So, I think this verse is kind of like the same as the first verse. It's only at the start a little bit more sparse even. The only thing that's really is different, of course the lyrics are different, but what I also really like is Fabio recorded a little bit of a choir in the chorus. So, you will, let's see. So let me just solo the choir together with the... I think the synths, right, is all that's in there, and a little bit of FX. So you can really hear what Fabio recorded. I think this sounds really good. It adds the whole atmosphere. In the second part here it goes even louder. So yeah, so sorry, I'm using a microphone, it just cut out. I hope it stays there now. But yeah, so this choir he recorded, I really like. I think it adds a lot again to that like spooky effect and stuff in the verse, in the second verse. So let's go to the final chorus. The final chorus is kind of the same as the first chorus. The only difference is, of course, now we're adding a solo guitar to it. So let's listen. So again, I hear some, my software really doesn't like me today. I heard some focus going over it, but it doesn't matter, I think we listen to the chorus, okay. So let me just point out some last things. So again, so we have this whole guitar solo in here now. Sietse recorded it, I really like it. I think it's cool to point out that near the end of the solo, we use like the whammy pedal again, so it goes really high, which I think is like, sounds really cool here. So yeah, I think that sounds really cool. We worked pretty long together on the solo, making like the real vibe, because it has to also accompany the whole chorus, and the whole chorus is that big, right? We have synths, we have orchestra, we have guitars, we have bass, we have drums, and then adding a guitar solo, yay! Which is really big. I think the last thing I want to point out is so the last vocals that Fabio sings, I made really loud. So so everything else is almost on the background, and just Fabio sings really loud. So if we listen to it solo, you will hear this last line. So that we watch it all. So if you listen to the chorus here, with everything again, you will really hear the we watch it all jump out on top of everything else. which I thought was a nice like production trick, like to emphasize that last sentence, and then of course it goes back to all music stops, everything mutes, and it's just burned with a nice little telephone effect on it. So yeah, we worked pretty hard on this to get it. Like I said at the start, we worked hard to get it in 3 minutes, which was like the biggest challenge, but we did it. As you can see, like we also made a version where like the orchestra continues at the end, which is really nice, but yeah, it's not within the 3 minutes. We also made one where the intro was a little bit longer. I think we had an extra kind of pre-chorus somewhere too that we all scrapped, and we all just made it to this. Yeah, I'm really proud and happy with the end result of Black Lotus. So yeah, our album is out. Go check it. Go check the full album and the song. This is the first song on the album. So if you made it to here to listen to me ramble about music project, thank you very much for taking the time. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Bye.